I'm going to talk through one of our case studies that we've been working with one of our clients, Southern Housing, for a couple of years. But there has been so much work done in the social housing sector to rectify their stock, and some of the lessons that we can learn, I'll talk through. But certainly, a big driver within social housing has been to achieve an EPC rating of C by 2030, and they've all been working towards that target. Some have certainly done better than others along that journey, but they've had support along the way with some of the funding streams that have been available to them. But it's not all about funding. A lot of them have invested from their own pockets to invest into their housing stock to get them to where they need to be. But they've certainly done some great work, but there's certainly lots more work that needs to be done to achieve that target of having all properties at C by 2030. Next slide, please. So one of our key clients is through Southern Housing, that we've been supporting them on a journey for a number of years to ultimately upgrade their housing stock to BC. They're one of the largest housing associations of Southern Housing, widespread stock, but they have, from their 80,000 stock, 30% of those properties are still at a C and below. So clearly lots of great work has been done, but lots still needs to be done to improve those properties to get them where they need to be. Specific projects, all projects are different, and different drivers for different clients. But Southern Housing is specifically focused on delivering solar PV, heat pumps into those properties, insulation, which is key, as I'll talk about as we go through some more learnings, and ventilating the property to the right standard so it can breathe, with avoiding things such as damp and mold, which has been a real driver in social housing moving forward. So, as far as social housing is concerned overall, I've already alluded to some of the funding that supports retrofit in social housing is being driven by energy company money or government funded money to support those good projects. But regardless of that, to be able to identify and build a project, and a successful project when you're working towards timescale, is about having good data and good preparation for the project. Housing associations don't always understand the housing stock as well as they should do. Some know them better than others, but really trying to understand and analyse their housing stock through the EPCs that have been done in the past. Eco Approach can certainly support and understand housing stock and produce a roadmap of what properties we suspect would qualify for a project that is D-rated currently, maybe E, F and G, and what it needs to get it to a C-rated. And we can recommend a number of different measures, but essentially having a roadmap as to which properties we believe we can get to a C at a cost-effective way, providing that roadmap. The roadmap will take you so far. Hypothetically, with the Southern Housing, when the latest project we're on is for 100 properties. Prior to that, there was additional properties that was identified, and it's about doing things from a desktop will take you so far, but we want to be able to eliminate quite quickly properties that we don't qualify, because an EPC will tell you so much. So by doing some light touch technical surveys, we can identify properties that we know will qualify for funding that we may apply for, which will essentially make the project a success when it does mobilise and become live as we actually get to site. Past 2035 and through grants is about identifying, applying for the money essentially through the government's. PAS 2035 is all about a standard. I'll go into more details about that, but it's looking at a whole house approach as opposed to an individual measure approach, which has been all important in social landlords and can certainly be applied into the private sector on more of a light touch. And the objective is obviously about getting the properties to where they need to be, but ultimately making those properties more comfortable for the people that live in them. Different drivers, different objectives. Yes, the objective is to achieve C within social housing, but the number of ways to actually get there. Some clients may have identified a project that may require more deep retrofit to suit their needs. They may have properties that currently sit at E, F, and G that require insulation through external wall insulation, internal wall insulation, perhaps a new heating system, a low carbon heating system in there, being an air source heat pump, to installing PV on there, which is obviously quite expensive to be able to do those things, but it's about building that project, doing the light touch tech surveys, and essentially delivering on that project when the contractor has been appointed. Ventilation will always be key and is one of the main requirements for PAS to ensure that building breathes correctly from there. Getting to see for some of the other clients that we work with is about looking for the most cost-effective way to do it. So they may have clients in this bid that stock that is just slightly short of the SAP score of where it needs to be, and that might be about installing more cost-effective measures, be through loft top-ups, being through upgrading the cavity wall insulation that's in there, the heating controls, etc., and make the money spread from the funding that they have to achieve it on more of a wide, larger scale as opposed to through deep retrofit. Key to engaging with all successful projects is really about engaging residents, and not just engaging them, getting their buy-in to support the works that's going to be done in those properties. That really means supporting them through engagement events, writing to the residents to inform them the work that's going to be taking place, what work is going to be taking place for those properties, and really trying to keep them updated at every possible stage throughout the process to be able to ensure that that project is successful, they're engaged, they allow for the works to be completed in their homes, because just because it is a social housing property doesn't mean to say that the work has to be done. The resident has to be engaged to ensure that that work is completed and completed with their support and compliance to ensure it works correctly. We always will need to have some contingency stock, because there will be dropout, and there has been dropout in social housing for many years. We may come across properties that just aren't suitable when you go out to do the initial surveys with on properties. A resident may have a change in circumstances, so having additional stock available to support that project is important to ensure that the right number of properties is treated, so that the funding has been secured and has been achieved and the project is successful. Using a quality contractor is it really is important as far as all retrofits is concerned, whether that be in the private sector or whether that be in social housing sector. There has been work that's been done in years gone by that has not been to standard. Delivering things to PAS has certainly supported and improved that, made an awful lot of improvements in the industry as we've developed the PAS standard over the past 5 years and beyond. But installing the right contract, having the right contract to do the works for you will minimise callbacks, so repeat visits, and make sure it's installed correctly will ensure that it performs at its peak, and the resident is ultimately benefiting from the energy efficiency measures or the low carbon heating that is installed. It's installed to the right standard, it performs correctly, and it doesn't cause the property any problems once the contractor has completed the work and handed over to the resident. Aftercare is so important, it really is. Installing the works to that standard, making sure the tenants, the residents know how to use it. And if there is a problem, once the property has had the energy efficiency measures installed, then it's about occasionally if we have got to go back to support a resident as to how to use it, or if there is a problem with the controls from there, or whatever it might be, it's about listening to the resident and ensuring that we return to make sure that it's put right should there be a problem that's results once the contractor has left. I've talked a little bit about Southern Housing and the good work that we're doing with Southern Housing, but there are so many clients that we do work with within Eco Approach, which we're proud of, and we have a number of case studies that are on our website that please take a look if you get a chance. There's also case studies on our YouTube channel, which will bring those case studies to life as well.